Hi, and welcome to the Ultimate Summit. I am so excited that you're here with us. I want to introduce you to Shirlene Reeves. She's an international speaker, a magazine publisher of Wealthy Woman magazine, an executive producer on the web TV, and a visibility coach, blending business, finance, and universal principles. She will power up your business and expand your vision through massive visibility so that you can make a 6 or 7 figure income while you sleep. Shirlene is a wonderful friend, and I believe in her financial philosophy and in her teaching methods, and I'm so excited to share her with you today. So Shirlene, would you tell us please, why did you develop the Compel Don't Sell course?
Well, hi, Barbara. First, I want to thank you for welcoming me onto the show. I really appreciate it. And I'm so excited to be here with you. And that's a really good question. Why did I develop this course? And it came from such a deep perspective because I've noticed over the years that entrepreneurs are having such a hard time making money. That's also why I developed my massive visibility courses, because they can't seem to get out of their own backyards, for one. And number two, they're having a hard time selling. And the reason they're having that hard time selling is because they don't know how to overcome objections. They don't want to ask for money. And they're just feeling like they could be pushy in that case.
Interesting. So people don't like to feel like they're being pushy. All right. So it's great that you're helping out entrepreneurs, because you're right. I know a lot of entrepreneurs that are really struggling today to make money, to make their sales, and they're uncomfortable doing that, particularly with the coaches that I train. So I'm very aware that you're right. This is something that needs to be resolved, and I'm so happy that you, of all people, are one that has presented a course on how to make a difference here. So could you share with us what the 5 biggest fears entrepreneurs and business owners have that cause them so much difficulty with this issue?
Well, sure, Barbara, and I'm really glad you asked that question. And I already did the first one, which is they are so afraid that they're going to appear pushy. And many entrepreneurs do appear that way. They literally put on their boxing gloves and they start in, you know, and sometimes they'll even invite you to coffee or to lunch, and you think you're going to have a new friend, and then all they want to do is sell their product. And then people get let down, not only let down, but they get angry. Another reason is people don't do well with rejection. They just don't love it. I don't know many people that love rejection. And when they get rejected over and over again, and they just can't quite get the words down properly in order to relate to their clients, then they do get rejected, for sure. And then they can't ask for money. And if you can't ask for money and you can't do what we call close the sale, then they're never going to have money in their bottom line, which weakens their confidence in being able to sell their product or even believing in what it is. And then they're afraid of loss of friendships, because if they're chasing their friends around trying to sell their products and asking for money, the friends are going to start running the other way when they see them coming. I've noticed that a lot. And that confidence is a really, really big thing. It has to come from within, and you have to have a belief in what you're doing, or you can't sell your product. That's what makes it so tough.
I believe that's so true. I think bottom line, if you don't believe in what it is that you're selling, you probably shouldn't be selling that. Figure out what it is that is in alignment with you and your belief system and your passion and your purpose in life. Then it's not about selling, right? Then it's about sharing your story and your truth. So what would you say, you mentioned that in your course that there's 2 main personality types when it comes to sales. So can you tell us more about that?
Sure, I'd be happy to. You know, when I look at the personality types, there's really 4, and some people think there's 6, but there's like an umbrella that goes over all of that. And one of them is our visionaries, our global people, they have the very biggest picture. And they may not know how to get where they're going, but they have a dream and they're going to push as hard as they can to get that dream accomplished. So there's that group of people. And then the other group of people are the step-by-step people. And when you try to put those two people together, it's really, really tough because the step-by-step people become overwhelmed with the big picture visionary type people because they can't see it. It's too big for them. In fact, if you try to paint a big vision for a step-by-step person, they're going to run the other way. It's going to scare them to death. But they actually both need each other because the big picture person needs the step-by-step person because they're not good with details. It's not their favorite thing to do except to maybe review the bottom line. And the step-by-step people are the ones that are so important to get the big picture people there because they can see the step-by-step direction to go in order to accomplish that goal. Does that make sense, Barbara?
Absolutely makes a whole lot of sense to me. And I know that I know both types of people, the detailed people and the global people, and trying to get somebody to be go from the step-by-step to the big picture. That's a hard call, and vice versa. And you're right, they need each other because somebody who's global can have a big idea, but if they don't have the person step-by-step working with them, then it won't go anywhere. So those two things are both really important. So what would you say is the most important thing to remember about learning to compel clients rather than sell clients?
Well, the most important thing I think is to, how can I say, back off, be authentic. Because when we keep pressuring and pressuring and pressuring, it makes people not want to be around you. It makes people feel like they want to run the other way, and they'll see you coming down the hall and ditch into the bathroom or the ladies' room or something just to avoid the sales. And we have an entrepreneur here in this area that is like that, and she's constantly hammering on you to drink this water or take this weight loss product or whatever it is, and you feel like you really can't get to know her from her heart because she's always selling. She doesn't let us know who we are. And the main thing is, when you say most important, is just listen to your clients. Listen to what their needs are, not with the end in mind, or you're going to make a sale, or, this is where we're going and trying to guide them. It's listening to them, giving them their own time, and really focusing on who they are, what their goals are, and how in your mind think about how you could possibly work with them. But you don't just go after them like you're putting boxing gloves on and chasing them around the ring trying to get them to buy something. They'll come to you if you treat them like you care about them instead of pushing on and pressuring.
Oh my goodness, that's brilliant advice. To get to know somebody, to encourage them to find out who they are and can they really use your product or your services or whatever you have. Get to know them on a deeper level, and then be there to be of service and provide what they need, rather than say, here, I have this fancy shiny new object and you got to have one. You got to have one.
Yeah. Exactly. And not everybody's for you. I watch entrepreneurs, and sometimes they want everybody to work with them, but not everybody's going to work with you or even has a need for what you do. So you have to learn to speak your client's perfect language so that you can call in your perfect client. If you don't know their language and you haven't taken the time to really study that, it doesn't matter whether you're on the stage or a Google Hangout like we are now, or on Zoom or anywhere. if you don't speak their language, because they're simply not going to resonate with you. That's really important. And finding those specific words and a way to find out what those specific words are a big part of what I have in my program, because we have to really ask questions of our demographic to find that out.
That's a great point. I was just going to ask. So how would you ever know all that? And so it's all in your class, and people can find out how to speak to their audiences listening, mm-hmm. and how to talk to them about what their needs are, and do that by some of the methodologies and tools that you're going to teach them in the class. This is great. So Shirley, I would love to know, how are they going to find out more about this class?
Well, the fun thing about it is that no matter what you do in this class, you're going to enjoy it, because there's so much to learn, because we even learn the 10 touch points of client emotion. And when you're looking at the different personality types, which is a big part of what we talk about, not just those 2 I gave you already, but there are others. And the way we use our words and the way we speak our words is really, really important. Along with, of course, as you know, Barbara, body language. They have to see body language. And sometimes people will even test me and say, oh, I decided I don't want it, when they really do want it after I mean, some people come back to me 2 years later. So what I've done, I built a business from 0 to millions, and I was a CEO for 17 years with 23,000 working under me. And I had to learn how to communicate with every different personality type and looking at what their needs are and how I could work with them. So when you want to really learn about this, and it's so important that you do, it's kind of a science, I think. I'm literally tearing back the curtain of what I learned over those 17 years and how I built my business. Instead of selling, I compelled each step of the way. And that's what I want to teach everyone, is how to do exactly that. Because if you can do that, every one of your clients ends up to be your best friend. And then suddenly you have a community. I think, Barbara, you went to lunch with me. I had that big luncheon. You remember that?
It was great. Yes, of course I remember. It was so much fun. We had a great time.
Yeah. Well, there were 43 people there. And when you think back to that room, 2/3 of that room were my clients. They were my financial clients, because I've learned how to work with them and work with their money. And now I'm showing them how to make money so that they can have a much, much stronger, more comfortable lifestyle.
Oh, that is so brilliant. So I'm really excited about hearing about your Compel Don't Sell class. Can you tell me a little bit more about it? Like, how long is the class, and how do we get signed up and that kind of thing?
Sure. It's 12 weeks, actually. And the reason it's 12 weeks, you have 6 modules all online, but I want to put you in a mastermind group of 5 people or more. Because when you're in a mastermind group, then you can actually sound off with other people how you word things, what you say, and you also have an opportunity to ask compelling questions of the people in the mastermind so that you can hear their verbiage and their feedback. And we take it step by step. And for those of you who are big picture, you all know where you're going. You're going to be able to compel rather than sell. And then for the step-by-step people, they need to know step-by-step exactly how they're going to get to that point. So it's all on my website at maximizeyourwealthnow.com/ what other word? Compel, of course. And with this class, I want to tell you, you know, there's actually, it's a big class. There's 3 levels of it, because when you're talking about the 10 steps to client emotion, we're talking about the verbiage that people need to hear in order to work with you. We have so much in this class, plus I give you a lot of information about how I built my business, and you can do it too. You can build it from 0 to millions just like I did, because I'm going to give you my tips. So what happens is you have a module, then you have a mastermind. So every other week is going to be a mastermind so that you can work on the module that we just learned and really seed it into your mind so that you can move forward with it. And then you'll find out you have so much more income because people will call you like they call me, Barbara.
That's brilliant. So that's really outstanding. I'm excited about the class and to learn more and to do it in a mastermind where you actually get to, I'm sure you're going to be present at the mastermind, but also other people that are working towards the same goals. So when you have that situation, you can learn from everybody as well as get the experience of working with the other people in the mastermind and just talking about what it is that you do and getting more and more comfortable talking about what it is that you do. I love it. This is going to be great.
Well, I want to clarify. I'm not on the mastermind. I select someone to take the mastermind on each week, so you have a different perspective than what I'm giving you. And then twice a month, I'm on a coaching call for an hour with you, and you can get in the queue and actually have one-on-one coaching with me. And it's in a group, so everybody else learns from you at the same time. So everybody gets a chance to be one-on-one with me for that kind of support.
Oh, nice. So you get one-on-one support. So now kind of what I just heard, which is very exciting, is that you have guest speakers coming in to help with the mastermind.
I do, yes.
Amazing, amazing. Because of course there's going to be so much value in learning from different, so are there 12 guest speakers coming, or how's that going to work?
Well, remember, there's only 6 masterminds and 6 modules in the first level. So, and the first level is the one where you want, it's actually your foundation. When I think of these 3 classes, or 3 levels that each have 6 modules in them, I think of the first one as, it's just like a, how can I say? It's like a lighthouse, all right? I have a beautiful lighthouse right outside my window at my condo in San Felipe, and I was just there recently, and when I look out my window, I see this lighthouse and the beautiful, beautiful mountains, which are, depending on the sunset, sometimes green, sometimes purple, sometimes blue. It's amazing. And then the water is absolutely gorgeous. So every time I walk into my condo, I see this lighthouse. So I think of the first level as the foundation of the lighthouse. And this is actually your hard work. This is the work that's going to really bring you clarity, which is the next level. Then we look at clarity of your business and how you move forward. And then the third level is, of course, the light at the top that beams its light brightly all the time, no matter what. And it's, and the captains of the ships automatically know where it is, and you utilize it for direction. Because, I mean, think about it, Barbara. Do you ever see a lighthouse running up in the bow on the beach looking for the captains?
No. Absolutely not.
Yeah, so then why are we doing that? Why are we running up and down looking for business owners when if we have our foundation solidified, we have clarity on what it is we're doing in the packages or the products that we're offering, then we should just be able to beam our light out very, very brightly, and people will find us if we use the proper words that bring in our perfect clients, and then they'll call you. I just had somebody that called me that I had met 2 years ago.
Wow.
I didn't even know who they were anymore. So imagine if you had somebody that called you that was 2 years, you hadn't known them for 2 years, and they just called you out of the blue, because people only call you when they're ready for that step. And so all day long, we're just planting seeds. Would you agree?
Right. So if somebody's calling you, they're ready. They just need to hear the reason behind why they should invest with you.
Exactly. Exactly. And they're calling me for that reason. I don't have to chase them down. And this happens all day, every day for me. It's just, and you know, I'm very fortunate that they do that, and that I've learned this technique because I win all kinds of trips. And now I haven't even told you this yet. I'm going to Puerto Vallarta in March, and it's a gift. I had no idea until today.
That's brilliant. So there's a lot of rewards when it comes down to being a great salesperson, and being a great salesperson involves a lot of knowing a lot of things. And it sounds to me like they're going to get a great education from you on what it takes to make sales, but do it in a way that's accepted by others, because they'll know that you care about them and what their needs are, and you're not there to sell them a shiny new object that they don't need. You're saying, yes, I provide this, or I provide that, and when you're ready, I'm here.
Exactly. And you know, there's a lot of what if when you talk to people. You know, instead of saying, well, you need this. I listen to people trying, especially MLMs, they have the hardest time. They've been given a script, and they think that they're supposed to say just exactly that script every time. And it doesn't work. It just doesn't work, because people feel like you've got your boxing gloves on. They feel like you're hammering on them, and it's not a comfortable thing. And that's why we get rejected.
Interesting. Well, I think that we have a few more minutes here before we need to wrap it up. Is there something that you would like your audience to know that you want to, just what is it that you'd like to share with your audience? What would you like them to know? What's something that you feel is very important for them to know? Not about the class right now, but a gift for them as far as when it comes to selling. What would you say is a key piece of information that they need to know?
Well, I think you have to know, first of all, whether you compel or whether you sell. That's a big point. And, you know, I have, right?
Yes.
The first thing you have to know. Because people don't even know whether they're compelling or they're selling until somebody knocks them back and says, hey, lay off, you know, you're too hard on me. So I've developed this little quiz that you can go on my website and get, and it's free to do it, and you can find out whether you compel or whether you sell. Now, maybe you'll take that quiz and go, gee, I don't need that class. I already know how to do this. Or maybe you'll take that quiz and say, oh my gosh, I've made every one of these mistakes. I really need to learn how to do that. And that quiz is on my website, which you can see right here at the bottom. And it's very enlightening. People have told me, wow, I took the quiz, but I don't like what it says at all.
Sometimes the truth hurts.
Yes, it does. But the other thing I want to say is that, you know, it's a big program. My first level is $497. But if you want to just try it out and sort of get your feet wet and see if you like it before you move forward, you can get the first 2 modules for $97. And then also you'll get a coaching call to go along with it.
That's brilliant. Oh God, that's brilliant, Charlene, because that means that for $97, they can put their feet in the water, you know, and I know sometimes people get nervous, like, oh, $497, that's a big investment. I don't know if I can do that. But $97 gets them in for the first 2 sessions, which I'm sure they're going to learn a lot for number 1. And number 2, they get a coaching session as well, which is going to help them tremendously to get clarity. Because as you mentioned, clarity is, I don't think we can manifest or create anything unless we have a clear picture of what it is that we want. So the clarity is a true gift, and you'll get that through the coaching session. So for $97, it's a very low risk for a high reward. Yeah, highly recommend that. A brilliant marketing decision.
Thank you. And then if they like the $97 program, then they can just move on to the next one. And then we put them into a mastermind so that they can get to know people they've never known before. And they're technically testing their techniques on people that they don't know, and it really doesn't matter because, well, they may become a client. You never know about that.
Right? You never know.
Exactly. If you learn to say it right, they may become your client. I mean, you may have all new clients just simply by being in the mastermind. That's what I love about the mastermind. But the whole point is just get your feet wet, see what you think. I'm imparting my 30 plus years of experience in business within this class, and it's also from a inner guidance system. It's also from a spiritual perspective, because we talk about love and kindness and caring and listening. It comes from a whole different perspective than what you might learn elsewhere.
God, that's brilliant. You know, I'm very passionate about connecting and with humanity and being of service and being connected to individuals. And I'm sure that there'll be a lot of that in your class as well, because I know you in your heart are such a compassionate, warm, loving, kind being of service person. And it's terrific that you're providing this opportunity for people to learn from you, from your magnificent experiences and your skills and your knowledge and everything that you've done to be the person that you are today is a lot. And for you to share that with others is just fabulous. I'm so excited for anybody that signs up for your course. So is there any last words you'd like to share with everybody before we go?
Well, the only last words are to please take the quiz and find out what works best for you. That's free. There's nothing to that quiz. And then send it on to your friends, especially those who are hard sell. It's a nice way to say, hey, check this out and see which one you are. That way you don't have to tell them, back off. I'm tired of the boxing gloves. I don't want to do this anymore. So just steer them toward my website, and then they can take the quiz, and it takes it off your hands.
That's great. That's great. So that quiz on maximizeyourwealth.com can serve two purposes.
Yes.
You know what kind of a salesperson you are, and you can also have other people go there so they can learn more about themselves, and that would be a great gift for your friend.
Kind of fun, and you don't have to get into a tangle or give them any kind of rejection. You just send them that way and say, okay, just try this on, see whether you compel or whether you sell. But always remember, in my last thoughts, is to listen to others. Seriously be in the place, in the moment when that person is talking to you. And don't be in your own mind thinking about what you're going to say next. And be kind and caring and supportive, and I promise you'll go a long way.
Oh, that's beautiful, Shirlene. Thank you for that. Be kind, be caring, be supportive, and know that you're making a difference for that individual when you're sharing with them whatever it is that you have to sell them, if you will. Whatever you have to, you can look at it as sharing. Whatever you have to share with them, do it from a place of being in your heart and be present with them. Those are great messages, Shirlene. Thank you for that. Being present with anybody is a gift to them right there from the get-go. And so your class is going to be amazing, and you're going to have the most wonderful people in your class, I can tell, just because of who you compel into your life. Thank you so much, Shirlene, for sharing with us today. It's brilliant.
Thank you, Barbara. I've loved being with you. As always, you're just such a special person in my life. And I'm very, very grateful that you've taken the time to be with me today.
Copy that. Thank you, Shirlene. All right, bye now, everyone. Thanks for joining us.